If you've noticed, till now we've learned that forest has a variety of living things. Are humans also not living things? We are, right? So, do you think people live around forests? Yes, they do. So, people who live in and around the forest are called tribals. In the photographs, you can see a few tribal communities. So, every state you go to, like Telangana, Orissa, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Assam, you have a few native tribal people who live in the forests of those states, right? So these forest communities live in and around the forest and call it their home. Okay, so these forests play a very big role in the lives of these communities and their livelihood. For example, these forests are a home to these communities. A lot of products from the forest, like the wild fruits, the edible plants, the medicinal plants. We already learned that the roots and the barks of a few trees are medicinal in nature, right? It helps to cure diseases. So tribal people who live away from hospitals depend on these plants to cure their diseases. And honey for their livelihood. That is, they can even sell these and earn some money from there, right? What is gum? Gum is also a product which comes from the tree. So basically, if there are some trees whose gum is very useful, for example the rubber tree. So how is rubber made? Rubber is nothing but the gum from the rubber tree. That is, when you slit the rubber tree, the trunk of the rubber tree, there's a liquid kind of thing which oozes out of it very slowly, and this liquid is collected and then made into rubber. So that is nothing but the gum from the rubber tree. So there are various other trees which secrete similar gum. In Hindi, it is also called as gond, which is the edible gum of the of a tree. Also, these give them food, and we all already learned that some of them are medicinal in nature. Now, how do they cook their food? They collect the dry wood from the from in and around the forest, and they burn it to cook their food. Right now, because the tribals have to live and depend on forest, they are very clever and they use everything from the forest very carefully so that it does not affect the forest in a negative way, so that the forests are not destroyed or they are not harmed in any way. So it is a coexistence, right? So they know how to use the products with care since their lives depend on it. Also, in Indian culture, we worship trees like peepal tree or banyan tree, and some animals like peacocks, cobras, and chinkaras. Chinkara is a type of deer, and this helps us in protecting the plants and animals. Because we worship these plants and animals, we don't harm them, right? Because they are sacred to us. And the most important sacred animal that we have is a cow. Although it is very important to protect our forests and tribals use everything very carefully, there are a lot of human activities which destroy the forests. Let us see how the forests get destroyed. Can you guess from the pictures? Let us look at the first picture. What do you think is happening in the first picture? The trees have fallen, or they look like someone has cut them, right? So why do you think they might have been cut? There can be various reasons. They might be clearing some space to build something, or they need the wood to make some furniture or ship or houses. So that is the first reason in the destruction of forest. Cutting trees in large numbers for various uses. When you look here, what do you see? It looks like a field, right? Now, the human population is increasing so much that we need to grow a lot of food so that all of us can be well fed, right? But where is the land for all this? Have you seen any empty land in and around your house where there are fields? No, right? Fields require large, large lands. So for that, the forest is cleared up to have large lands for agricultural purposes. So clearing land for agriculture. Now what do you see here? We see some kind of construction is going on. So this is called building of dams. So the rivers which flow through the forest, we build our dams there so that we can store some water for the times when we need the water, right? So constructing large dams. We can see here, to connect two cities or probably to reach a place inside forest where we might need something, we cut down the trees to make some roads so that our vehicles and trucks can go in to collect the resources we want. So building roads and industries. So here are some of the human actions or causes due to which forests get destroyed. Now you might ask that, but we need these things, right? We need land for agriculture. If we don't cut the forest, then how will we survive? Yes, it is very important for us to survive, but we have to also make sure that whenever we are cutting some trees, we are also planting them the same way, so that as much as we are cutting, we are also replenishing them. Because if you eventually cut all the forest down, then you will have no forest, and where will all the animals go, right? And then where will all our oxygen come from? So we have already seen why are forests important. So you have to understand that we cannot destroy the forests. Let us see some effects of destruction of forest. Like if you cut down the forest, what effect will that have on us or on the land or on the environment or other living things? Barren land. We already saw in the previous slide how we were constructing dams or cutting down trees to make roads. So, and cutting down trees, which is also known as deforestation, to for the wood of the tree or to clear some land up for other construction, right? So eventually what happens when you cut down the trees, or sometimes we even burn the trees down to quickly clear the land. So what that does, it makes it barren. So over time what happens is you cannot grow anything on this land. It becomes infertile. That means not even a blade of grass grows there. You can see how a barren land looks. There's nothing growing on it, right? Which is very sad. Also, some animals and plants get harmed, like the snow leopard. So once the environment is destroyed and the forests are no more, these animals and plants, so plants are anyways not there anymore, the animals also find it very difficult to survive. That's a snow leopard. How cute is a snow leopard? Would you want it to be harmed? No, right? And that's a musk deer. Certain animals have disappeared. If you've seen the movie Rio, you will recognize these birds. How cute are they, right? But they don't exist in the wild anymore. How sad is that? Yes, we have destroyed their habitat to such an extent that they do not exist anymore. These are the macaw birds, the Spix macaw birds. India had a lot of cheetahs in the past, but again, due to destruction of their places of living, cheetahs do not live in India anymore. Also, lions are no more in the wild. They are only in the protected forest called the Gir forest in Gujarat, where they are protected by the government so that nothing harms them in the way of hunting or any other way. But how can we protect our forest instead of destroying them, right? It is a very important thing to start protecting the forest. So obviously, everything that you are doing to destroy them has to be stopped. For example, trees should not be cut in large numbers, right? At once, if you're cutting a lot of trees, to cut a tree, it takes probably an hour or a few hours. But for a tree to grow, it takes sometimes 10 years for the tree to grow. So if you're cutting everything at once, or if you're cutting a lot of trees at once, how will you replenish them, right? Also, clearing forest land for housing and agriculture should not be allowed. So they should be preserved. because once you cut them, even if we are cutting trees for wood, we can plant them, but once you cut the trees away or clear the land for house or agriculture, we cannot make a forest there. After that, we have already seen it makes the land barren. Polluting industries. Sometimes some industries which are situated near the forest area throw their waste material into the forest. This in turn, this waste material is very bad for the forest or for the animals living there, because sometimes they end up eating that waste material, right? So also the air around the industrial places gets very polluted due to the release of poisonous gas into the air. So what that does is it destroys the forest. So hence it should not be allowed to set up near the forest. Also poaching. I already told you that for the lions to survive, they have been put in a protected area which is called the Gir forest. That forest is protected from any kind of hunting or poaching. Poaching is illegal hunting of an animal. So the government of India has made laws where it says that we are not allowed to kill or hunt an animal, right? The protected forest regions, protected by who? The government protects it by making some laws, right? Is known as wildlife parks or wildlife sanctuaries, just like the Gir forest we read in the previous slide. One of the very famous initiatives that the government of India took was Project Tiger. Here at the bottom, you can see the logo of National Tiger Conservation Authority. This department is responsible for starting this project because we have very few tigers in India left, right? So they are all dying because they are being illegally hunted for their skin, bones, or claws, and as a result of which, what happened was India had less than 2000 tigers at one point. So the government of India started this project called Project Tiger. And what does it do? The forests where tigers live are protected. Just like again I'm giving the example of Gir forest, which is protected for the lions. Like that, we have forests which are protected and even the tigers live there, so that they are not hunted down by illegal hunting, which is called as poaching, right? Nobody is allowed to kill animals or cut trees in these forests. So this, what does it do? It not only helps the tiger or preserve the tigers, it also helps in preserving the forest, right? Such forests are called tiger reserves. So the particular forest where the tigers are protected are known as tiger reserves. So the chapter has come to an end. You must be very happy, I know. But before I leave you, let us all take a pledge. Okay, let us all make a promise. And what is that promise? Let us promise to ourselves today that we will help in protecting the environment in our own small way. Okay, so one of the things that you can do is you can make a promise to yourself that you will never use leather products. Now, what is leather? Leather is nothing but the skin of the animal. It is chemically treated and dried up that you don't even feel like it is skin of a living thing, right? So let us make a promise that we will never use leather products. What will this do? This will stop the illegal hunting, because we all are using leather products and government has made it a crime to hunt animals. We are still illegally hunting a lot of animals to make our leather products. Okay, so let us take a pledge that we will not do this. So this will help in protecting the animals and the places they live in, right? So can you make that promise to yourself? Let us promise that we will never use leather products. So before I let you go finally, and this is a promise, I will let you go, we'll just take 2 minutes to revise the entire chapter very quickly, okay? The first thing we learned was animals depend on plants. Animals depend on plants for what? Oxygen, because animals need oxygen to survive. Shelter, so that they can live and be safe. And food, right? Then we learned about food chain. Do you remember the food chain? We had the sun, the plant, the herbivore, or omnivore, and then the carnivore. So it is a sequence of living things, and each living thing is the food for the next member, right? We also learned that the plants are called producers because they make their own food through photosynthesis, and animals are called consumers because they only eat the other plants or animals. In all of this, sun is the primary source of energy, because if sun is not there, then plants cannot make food. If plants cannot make food, then the herbivores can't eat them. And if the herbivores don't have food, they will die, and then the carnivores also won't be able to have any food. Hence, sun is the primary source of energy in a food chain. Next, we learn, just like animals depend on plants, plants also depend on animals. For what? For carbon dioxide, so that they can use it during photosynthesis to make their food. For producing seeds or pollination. If you remember, we had learned about an example of fruit bat pollinating in a cactus flower, right? And then dispersal of seeds. We had learned how squirrels and birds take the fruit from one tree, go to some other place and eat it and drop the seed there. So the seed now grows there into a plant, right? Today we did the second part and we learnt about wildlife, or what is a wildlife. It is nothing but all living things that are not domesticated and that live in an area. We also learned that forests are the richest in wildlife. Then we learned about what are forests, the size, very large, growth, very thick, and who lives in the forest, all varieties of living things, right? Then we learned about type of forests, the tropical rainforest, tropical deciduous forest, and the coniferous forest. Then we learned about importance of forests. We need the forest for oxygen, for the medicines, for the wood or the timber to make our houses or furniture. Then we learned about soil erosion, how soil erosion occurs and how forests stop them, because the trees prevent the soil from being washed away because their roots hold the soil together, right? Then we learned about how they give us honey and other edible fruits. Also groundwater replenishing, because the forest grows so thick and the soil is so held together by the roots that the water cannot just flow away. It stays there and eventually seeps into the ground, right? Then we learned about the tribals. We also saw a picture. These tribals are the forest communities and they depend on the forest for their home, food, medicines, their livelihood, and other such things. Also, we learned that in Indian culture, we worship various plants and animals, which helps us to protect them, right? Because they are sacred, we don't kill them or cut them. Then we learned about the ways that forests get destructed. The first picture, we learned about deforestation, or how trees are cut for wood or for other things. Then we learned about how forest land is cleared up for agriculture, dam building, and for road building, right? Then we learned about how this destruction of forest, how all of this affects the other living things. We learned about how the earth becomes barren and nothing can grow there anymore because of all the construction and agricultural activities that has taken place on that land. Then we learned about how animals like snow leopard and musk deer find it very difficult to survive and then eventually might not exist, just like the Spix macaw birds, right? Then we learned about how we can protect them. So if we stop doing all of this and do it very sensibly and keeping in mind that there are other living things other than human beings also, we can protect our forests. So we shouldn't cut them in large numbers. And other things like clearing forest for land and housing should be housing and agricultural purposes should be avoided. Also, industries should not be there near the forest land, and the poaching should be curbed or prevented. Government has made a lot of laws for illegal hunting, right? We also learned that wildlife parks and wildlife sanctuaries are the protected forest regions, just like tiger reserves. That brings us to the last topic, which is the Project Tiger, which was started by the government to protect the tigers and the forest that they live in. And how have they done it? They have made a lot of laws which makes hunting tigers illegal or poaching tigers a crime. So we have come to the end of our chapter 2 of science. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you will learn all of this and make neat notes. The instructions will be sent to you for the same. Also, like I always say, सीखना बंद तो जीतना बंद, right? So happy learning. Goodbye.